Myanmar, a land steeped in history and gilded with ancient pagodas, beckons travelers with its enigmatic charm. The allure of this country lies not just in its breathtaking landscapes, but also in the stories that have shaped its very essence. From the snow-capped Himalayas to the azure waters of the Andaman Sea, this Southeast Asian nation boasts a rich tapestry of cultures, landscapes, and historical narratives. Each region tells its own unique story, contributing to the diverse mosaic that is Myanmar. For millennia, Myanmar has been a crossroads of civilizations, a melting pot of ethnicities, and a land where ancient traditions intertwine with the complexities of the modern world. The cultural diversity here is palpable, with over 135 distinct ethnic groups, each with its own customs, languages, and traditions. The heartland of Myanmar beats with the rhythm of ancient kingdoms, their grandeur etched in the ruins of majestic cities and the echoes of legends passed down through generations. These stories are not just relics of the past, but are woven into the very fabric of daily life, influencing contemporary culture and identity. The Bargan Plains, with their thousands of ancient temples, stand as a testament to the architectural prowess and religious fervor of the First Burmese Empire. Each temple, with its intricate carvings and towering spires, tells a story of devotion, artistry, and the quest for spiritual enlightenment. From the 11th to the 13th centuries, the pagan kingdom, under King Anarata, unified the Irrawaddy Valley and laid the foundation for a golden age of Burmese culture and influence. This era saw the flourishing of art, literature, and religion, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's heritage. The echoes of this glorious past reverberate through the centuries, whispering tales of kings and queens, monks and merchants, warriors and artisans. These stories are not just confined to history books, but are celebrated in festivals, dances, and oral traditions that keep the past alive. The ancient cities of Mandalay, Amarapura, and Inwa, each a former royal capital, offer glimpses into the opulence and grandeur of bygone eras. Walking through these cities, one can almost hear the clatter of royal processions and the murmur of courtly intrigue. Intricate wood carvings, shimmering gold leaf, and vibrant murals adorn the palaces, monasteries, and temples, showcasing the artistic brilliance that flourished under royal patronage. These masterpieces are a testament to the skill and creativity of Myanmar's artisans, whose legacy continues to inspire. However, Myanmar's history is not merely a nostalgic journey through ancient glories. It is a complex narrative that includes periods of colonization, resistance, and resilience. It is also a story of resilience, of a nation grappling with its colonial past, navigating the turbulent waters of independence and striving to forge a brighter future amidst ongoing challenges. The spirit of the people, their determination to overcome adversity, and their hope for a better tomorrow are the threads that weave through Myanmar's historical tapestry, making it a land of enduring strength and beauty. The 19th century cast a long shadow over Myanmar as the tendrils of British colonialism reached across the seas, gradually enveloping the once mighty kingdom. The British, driven by their imperial ambitions and the desire to expand their influence in Southeast Asia, saw Myanmar as a strategic prize. The kingdom, rich in natural resources and strategically located, became a focal point for British expansionist policies. The British East India Company, with its powerful military and economic clout, began to exert pressure on the Burmese kingdom. The three Anglo-Burmese wars, fought between 1824 and 1885, marked a turning point in Myanmar's history, culminating in the complete annexation of the country into British India. These wars were brutal and devastating, leading to significant loss of life and property. The annexation was not just a political maneuver, but a complete overhaul of the Burmese way of life. The British imposed their administrative systems, laws, and economic practices, fundamentally altering the fabric of Burmese society. The Konbaung dynasty, the last Burmese monarchy, was deposed, and King Thibaw Min, the last king of Burma, was sent into exile in India. This marked the end of centuries of Burmese sovereignty and the beginning of a new era under British rule. British rule brought about profound changes in Myanmar's social, economic, and political landscape. The introduction of a Western education system, the development of infrastructure, and the growth of a market-oriented economy transformed the country in fundamental ways. Roads, railways, and ports were constructed, facilitating the movement of goods and people. The British also introduced new agricultural techniques and crops, which increased productivity but also led to the displacement of traditional farming practices. The economy was reoriented to serve British interests, focusing on the extraction and export of raw materials. However, colonialism also left deep scars on Myanmar's psyche, sowing the seeds of ethnic divisions, fueling resentment against foreign rule, and creating a legacy of economic exploitation that continues to cast a shadow on the present. The social fabric of the country was torn apart, with traditional structures and hierarchies being disrupted. The British administration, pursuing a policy of divide and rule, exacerbated existing tensions between different ethnic groups, pitting Burmans against minorities such as the Shan, Karen, Kachin, and Chin. This deliberate strategy was aimed at weakening any unified resistance against British rule. This policy of divide and conquer had long-lasting consequences, contributing to the ethnic conflicts that have plagued Myanmar since independence. The seeds of discord sown during the colonial period have grown into deep-rooted ethnic strife that continues to challenge the nation's unity. Moreover, the British transformed Myanmar's economy into a source of raw materials for their industries, exploiting the country's vast resources of teak wood, rice, and oil. The extraction of these resources was carried out with little regard for the well-being of the local population or the environment. This economic exploitation, coupled with the influx of Indian laborers, created a system of economic inequality that disproportionately benefited the British and a small elite, while leaving the majority of Burmese impoverished. The social and economic disparities created during this period have had lasting impacts on Myanmar's development. The legacy of colonialism continues to shape Myanmar's present, casting a long shadow over its political, economic, and social landscape. The institutions and systems put in place by the British have left an indelible mark on the country's governance and societal structures. The ethnic divisions, economic disparities, and political instability that plague the country today are, in many ways, the bitter fruits of its colonial past. Understanding this history is crucial for addressing the challenges Myanmar faces and for building a more inclusive and equitable future. The end of World War II heralded a new era for Myanmar as the country, ravaged by years of conflict and occupation, finally broke free from the shackles of British colonialism. The war had left deep scars on the land and its people, but the spirit of independence and the desire for self-determination burned brightly in the hearts of the Burmese. On January 4, 1948, Myanmar declared its independence, ushering in a period of both hope and uncertainty. The streets of Rangoon were filled with jubilant crowds, waving flags and singing patriotic songs as the Union Jack was lowered and the new Burmese flag was hoisted. It was a moment of immense pride and joy for the people, but also a time of great responsibility and challenge for the new leaders. The euphoria of liberation was tempered by the daunting challenges of nation-building, economic reconstruction, and forging a unified national identity in a country deeply divided along ethnic and political lines. Myanmar is home to over 100 different ethnic groups, each with its own distinct culture, language, and history. The task of uniting these diverse communities under a single national identity was a monumental one. The assassination of General Aung San, the architect of Myanmar's independence and the father of Aung San Suu Kyi, in July 1947, dealt a devastating blow to the newly independent nation. Aung San was not just a political leader, he was a symbol of hope and unity for the people. His vision for a free and prosperous Myanmar was cut short by his untimely death, leaving a void that would be difficult to fill. Aung San, a charismatic leader who had united various ethnic groups under the banner of independence, was seen as the best hope for a peaceful and prosperous future for Myanmar. His ability to bring together people from different backgrounds and forge a common cause was unparalleled. His speeches inspired millions, and his leadership was instrumental in the struggle for independence. His assassination plunged the country into political turmoil and set the stage for decades of ethnic conflicts and military rule. The power vacuum left by his death led to infighting among political factions and a struggle for control that would destabilize the nation for years to come. The first decade of independence was marked by a fragile parliamentary democracy, plagued by political instability, economic challenges, and escalating ethnic insurgencies. The government faced the daunting task of rebuilding a war-torn economy while trying to maintain political stability in a deeply divided society. The government, led by U Nu, Aung San's close associate, struggled to maintain control as various ethnic groups, demanding greater autonomy and self-determination, took up arms against the central government. U Nu's administration was constantly under pressure from both internal and external forces. making governance a challenging endeavor. The Karen National Union, KNU, the Kachin Independence Organization, KIO, and the Shan State Army, SSA, were among the many ethnic armed groups that emerged during this period, challenging the authority of the central government and plunging the country into a spiral of violence. These groups sought to protect their own interests and preserve their cultural identities, often clashing with the central government's efforts to impose a unified national identity. The failure of the central government to address the legitimate grievances of ethnic minorities, coupled with the political infighting and economic mismanagement that characterized this period, created a power vacuum that the military would soon exploit. The lack of effective governance and the growing discontent among the population set the stage for a dramatic shift in the political landscape. In 1962, General Nevin, staging a bloodless coup, seized power, ushering in an era of military dictatorship that would last for over 5 decades. Nevin's regime would be marked by authoritarian rule, economic isolation, and widespread human rights abuses, leaving a lasting impact on the nation's history and its people.